Hi, so this is going to be a quick introduction to the starter kit. Actually, not just an introduction, so I'll tell you all that you need to know to start using this, to download the kit and add it to Tability, and how to run your week, etc. Okay, so maybe I'll start before jumping into this, like why did we create this? And I think I have like an image here. So the reason why we built this starter kit is because one thing we've noticed a lot is that teams go through this journey when they get started with OKRs. So it's an amazing framework. You learn about it, you find it amazing, you want to use it. That's step one. Then step two, you try to write your first set of OKRs, and this is where everything breaks because a lot of teams, they try to have like that perfect set of OKRs at the beginning of a journey, at the beginning of a quarter. And it can be quite hard to decide, what goal should go in. Like, is something like a roadmap item, or is it an actual goal? What do you do with your projects, etc. And so teams get stuck at that number two step. And sometimes, like we've seen literally like months go by and teams just dropping everything because they're like, well, we can't seem to make it work. So what this starter kit is about is to get you in the habit of using OKRs. It's much more important for you to start working with OKRs and to track something than to get stuck at that, we need to get a perfect set of goals, a perfect strategy before you start the quarter. And so because of that, what we've done here, you'll find those. We've created like 3 different templates for you that are ready to go. There's one which is focused on teams that are trying to validate, an idea and trying to get to that product market fit. There's another one for more mature team that want to focus on increasing the bottom line and making sure that customers are happy. And there's a third one which is more like for startups that are targeting a specific fundraising milestone. And usually you have a set of metrics to hit, and we'll see how you can use OKRs to track that. Okay, so now, one thing that is super important, so here I'm going to assume that you have like already a Tability account, that you've started a trial and that you're ready to go. I'm going to show you how to import the starter kit into Tability, but this is where I want to spend a bit of time explaining what should happen next. So if you, oftentimes, when you read about OKRs, like it talks about the alignment piece that happens at the beginning of the quarter. It's like all the teams get together, not get together necessarily, but they write a set of OKRs. We have a shared language for focus, which makes it super easy to understand what people are doing, but also like to identify the misalignment. So this is great, but what's more important in my view, in my opinion, is to make sure that you've got this ritual, that you commit to that ritual. So this here, it actually, if you have like a bad set of OKRs, like doing this on a weekly basis is going to help you understand what the mistakes are. And it's going to do a much better job. Like it's going to be easier for you to run the cycle and than to maybe like spend like 2 weeks in workshops to try to perfect your initial OKRs. Okay, so what's the workflow? So you want to start every week by looking at the OKRs themselves. And what I mean here is you want to basically discuss progress on the different key results. And if something is green, you don't spend a lot of time on that. But if something is red or yellow, you want to maybe dive into it a little bit more. This is going to help you have the right context so that from Monday to Friday, you can work on all the projects and make sure that those things that are done here contribute to the goals that you have. And then on Friday, basically you present that work. The reason why you don't want to flip this around, right? You don't want to do this meeting at the end of a week, because otherwise it means that after the weekend, people will come back, not remember what is important, work on a bunch of things. And then on Friday, when they talk about the OKRs, I can guarantee you that everyone is going to realize that everything that they've done during the week was off topic, basically. Okay, so now in the details of the meeting, so this should be quick. It should be like a 30-minute meeting. I'm going to assume that you just have like one set of OKRs for the exec team or for the leadership team. But if you had like multiple teams having multiple OKRs, like each team has their own meeting. And I would say no more than 8 people in that meeting, because otherwise it becomes too big. It's not like presenting to the whole company, which can happen on a monthly basis. This is more about operational cadence for a team. You're a leadership team, you have like leadership level OKRs. You need to talk about them on a weekly basis. Okay, so that's a Monday meeting here. You're going to find some links here that are going to make it easy for you to add them to your calendars. So maybe pause here and make sure that you add those meetings to your calendars now, and before you move to the next step. Because that, as I said, the goal is to start doing this next week. Okay, so assuming that you've got your meeting set in the calendar, this is how next Monday should look like for you. So it's going to be a 30-minute meeting. Maybe the first Monday will be a little bit slow, but as you start getting into that rhythm, like I can guarantee you that on week number 3, everything will be like super smooth. And this is what it's going to look like, right? So let me take an example here. This is my sample platform, my sandbox. If I take the company OKRs here, what you're going to do, you're going to click on any item, and then just the updates need to have happened before the meeting, right? So don't go here and then create your check-in together. Everything should be updated. And then each person, like Seiji, will start and say, hey, this is what I wrote, and maybe give a bit of context. But once again, because it's green, you don't want to spend too much time on this. And then you move on to the next one. Now, here's an interesting case, right? Because this has been marked red, but if I look at the graph, it's like this is trending in the right direction. So I would probably ask Julia, it's like, hey, should we update this, and maybe should this be marked on track instead? And that's it. You keep on moving through things. As I said, each person needs to maybe briefly talk about what's happening. Even if it's green, like don't skip them. Like sometimes you can have like an extra bit of knowledge that is being shared, which is always interesting. But for the green ones, yeah, it's like it's not time for debate. Now let's look at something like this, right? Where maybe you've got a yellow, and then you start to have a discussion about product review rating together. I would also encourage you to time box that discussion, right? So don't make sure that you're not trying to solve everything during that meeting. If we have something like this, I tend to do this. I tend to say, okay, so we've talked about this for more than 2 minutes. There's maybe more that need to happen. I would say make sure to organize another meeting. Sorry about this. I'm really bad at typing, sorry. So I would write this down, because the goal of the OKR meeting is not to solve everything, is to raise questions or raise, flag risks. So here, this is me just flagging that Leila should have another meeting to start thinking about, how do we turn this around, okay? And that's it. So that's the last one. So same thing again. You just talk through the OKRs. That's it. So now that review meeting is done. And again, here you can see that we have like tasks as well. This is not a planning meeting. This is not where we schedule the work. This is what's the state of the goals, and what need to happen after this meeting. We do have a planning meeting with our team that happens on the Tuesday, or actually on Thursday, where we look at projects. And it's just for us to adjust the projects based on what we know about the OKRs. But during the OKR review meeting, you do not do project planning. You just talk about the progress on the OKRs, and you trust people to then, if there's planning that needs to be done, or discussion, or risk, further risk discussion to have, it's going to happen during the week. It's going to be part of that phase here. Okay, so that's a review meeting. Friday demos, you want to make sure that everybody basically showcases or talks about what they've done. Obviously, people that work with actual product can have, it feels like an advantage because they can show you how a new feature works, etc. But I would encourage, like for us in our team, like the person that like our head of partnership is going to talk about what happens in partnership and do a presentation about it, like same in customer success. Like, and the idea is to share knowledge. It's like, this is what's happening. We're a team. We're working on stuff. Okay, so this is 10 minutes in. So now we can look at how to use the starter kits. Okay, so I have my free starter kits here. So this is starter kit 1, which is about product market fit. You'll see that there's two objectives. So one is to validate what we're solving and demonstrate value, right? And so my key results are super simple. So if you're looking at achieving product market fit, you probably, first you need to talk to people. You need to talk to your ideal customer, and that's what the ICP stands for, ideal customer profile. So you want to have interviews with these people. You want to make sure that there's interest. You can build a waiting list, because if you can't build a waiting list, then there's probably not much value in building an entire product on top of it, product for it. And then the product market fit score. And the other thing is about like making sure that, you know, if you have a beta going on, you can have like people that are using this product and be happy about using the product. You see them returning. And even better, cherry on top, like if you can get paying customer before you go and launch the generally available version of your product. Starter kit number 2 is for companies that, you know, you already have a product, it's making money, you have customers, and you just want to start using OKRs, right? So you want to start thinking more in terms of goals, as opposed to just have like a list of projects that you're tackling on every week. And here we're just going to keep it simple. So you would have to fill in, you know, the blanks here, but the goal is, you know, it's like increase revenue, improve the conversions, expand revenue, improve your NPS, reduce churn, run feedback session. Very, very simple goal. It's very likely that you have to do it. And the idea, once again, is for you to set, you know, what are the lines that you're going to draw in the sand, saying this is where we are today and this is where we want to go at the end of the quarter. You might have some other ideas here, but the idea is like this should be helpful. This should give you like a starting point. And the third one is here, which is about achieving a milestone. So you want to demonstrate that your revenue is aligned with your target and prove that this is great business, right? So there's probably like a revenue target here, revenue growth target, number of customers that you need to close, etc. Okay, so how do you use this? For instance, I'm going to use this one because that way I don't have to update all the metrics here. But so you're going to go here, you're going to make a copy, because then it means that you can edit the content of it. Once you have your copy, in this case, I don't have to change anything, but if I wanted to say, for instance, okay, I want to do 30 customer interview, I would do it like this. Now that you have your copy, what you're going to do, you're going to download the CSV version of that plan. And then you're going to go in Tability, and then you are going to create a new plan. So create a new plan, call it, you know, leadership OKRs. Or, you know, I would put the name of the company. Like if it was, we're Acme, I would say Acme OKRs 2026 Q1. Keep it. You want those reminder every week. You want to do those weekly updates. I would keep it for this quarter. Now I create my plan. So now what I can do, I can use the magic import here. I can import from CSV, and I'm going to pick this file here, and import it to my plan. All right, so you can see that everything has been set up. My targets have been set up. If you do have a problem, like let's say that, for instance, it didn't pick like 0 to 100 people, or your wait list has like, let's say that you have like 30 people today, I can click here and adjust the target to say that I'm actually starting at 30 people, which is going to be easier. next thing is like, I want to assign this to the right people, right? So you would have invited your team here and then assign this to the folks that need to track these different metrics. Do that for every goal, and then you're ready to go. You can just publish things. So now that this is published, next Monday, everybody will get a reminder from Tability to say, hey, it's time to update your goals. And so this is where, for instance, here, you would create a check-in and then say, let's say that you just managed to sign up like another 20 folks, or 26 folks, like you're at 56 people. Well, in this case, we're already mid-quarter, but let's say, okay, let's do this. We're at 90. Super exciting. We're almost there. And blah, 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 blah. Okay, I don't need to write the entire thing, but this is what you would do. Now your team is probably they're probably going to get a notification about this, and it's if you do get notified about the progress of a team and they have like a great thing happening to them, like don't hesitate to go and give them a thumbs up. But that's always great, especially when you're remote. But that's just the job that you have to do, right? So everybody does that, and then you run the meeting when the meeting is happening. Okay, I think that's it. That's all you need to know to get started. So if you have any question, you can reach out to our team. You can use this intercom pop-up here, or you can just send us an email at support. And yeah, we're super happy to help. Okay. And that's it. Thank you.